The notion that scientists and mainstream media are intentionally deceiving the public about climate change is a pervasive conspiracy theory that has gained significant traction in recent years. Proponents of this theory argue that there is a deliberate attempt to manipulate and distort scientific data to promote a particular agenda, often claimed to be driven by financial or political interests. However, a closer examination of the evidence and the underlying motivations reveals a more complex and nuanced reality. On one hand, it is true that climate change is a highly politicized issue, and various stakeholders, including governments, corporations, and special interest groups, have a vested interest in shaping the narrative to suit their agendas. For instance, fossil fuel companies have been accused of funding climate change denial campaigns to delay or block the transition to renewable energy sources. Similarly, some governments may downplay the severity of climate change to avoid implementing costly mitigation measures or to maintain their economic competitiveness. Moreover, the media's role in covering climate change has been criticized for being inadequate or biased. Some media outlets, often driven by ratings or ideological perspectives, can sensationalize or oversimplify the issue, creating a distorted public perception of the scientific consensus. Additionally, the 24-hour news cycle and the proliferation of social media have created an environment where misinformation and disinformation can spread rapidly, further muddling the public discourse on climate change. However, it is essential to recognize that the overwhelming majority of climate scientists, approximately 97%, agree that human-caused climate change is real and a pressing global issue. The scientific consensus is based on decades of rigorous research, extensive data collection, and peer-reviewed studies, which have consistently demonstrated the link between human activities such as burning fossil fuels and deforestation, and the resulting increase in global temperatures. Rather than a deliberate attempt to deceive, the perceived lies about climate change can often be attributed to the complexities and uncertainties inherent in scientific research. Climate science is a multifaceted field, and scientists are continually refining their understanding of the climate system, its feedback loops, and the impacts of human activities. As new evidence emerges, scientific theories and projections are updated, which can sometimes be misinterpreted as flip-flopping or lying by those who are not familiar with the scientific process. Furthermore, the accusation that scientists in mainstream media are colluding to promote a particular agenda ignores the fundamental principles of scientific inquiry and the journalistic code of ethics. Scientists are driven by a pursuit of knowledge and a desire to understand the world around us, while journalists are committed to reporting accurate and unbiased information. Both professions are built on a foundation of integrity, transparency, and accountability, which are essential for maintaining public trust. In conclusion, while it is true that climate change is a highly politicized and complex issue, and that some stakeholders may attempt to manipulate or distort the narrative, it is misleading to suggest that scientists and mainstream media are intentionally lying to the public. The scientific consensus on climate change is clear, and the evidence is overwhelming. Rather than perpetuating conspiracy theories, it is essential to engage in informed and nuanced discussions about climate change, acknowledging the uncertainties and complexities of the issue while recognizing the urgent need for collective action to address this global challenge. By promoting a more accurate and balanced understanding of climate change, we can work together to develop effective solutions and ensure a sustainable future for generations to come.